boy.
So what about doing podcasts? What have you not expected, like, out of doing podcasts? What have to do to deal with?
I think I got my head stuck in making sure everything looked right,
Yeah.
the equipment. I made this on sign, so
wow.
something kind of unique.
Yeah.
Just all the aesthetics of it all and the tech, like you said, technology of it all. I got
Yeah.
right into that. And then I remember doing kind of the first one, and I sat down and just thinking, on the day, I was
What
like,
the hell do I say?
what am I going to say now?
Oh no.
What am I going to talk about? You know, I just thought, oh, I'd really want to do something like this.
Yeah.
And I didn't see. I'm not saying there isn't anybody doing podcasts in Scotland, but I didn't see anybody kind of maybe doing something like this.
Like the Joe Rogan does, like this.
Yeah,
where you
like
film
that.
it.
Yeah,
Totally.
like I watch a lot of the American comics, and they've all got their podcasts.
Yeah.
They're all on YouTube. It's very much that kind of bigger way. Now they're obviously all great comics. I'm an open micer, with about 5
It's a
minutes.
different energy with American comedians. I always think there's less self-deprecation sometimes. Where if you listen to like Stuart Goldsmith and it's all that British
Sure.
sort of modesty, where with
Yes.
Joe Rogan's like, "I'm great, man."
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought, why not give it a go? And like I said, and I've had a lot of positive, feedback. A lot of people, every time I ask somebody if they want to come on,
Cool.
they've said yeah.
Do
So
you have an influence, like podcast-wise, somebody you really like?
no, I just think, like I said, I watch Bert Kreischer, Joe Rogan's obviously a massive podcast.
Yeah.
It's hard to not see that. So I watch some of his stuff. I do like. There's a whole bunch of them, but I do like Bert Kreischer's one. Is really good. I really like him. He doesn't come across as like he's like interview professional.
Yeah.
It's very
quite
much
laid
he
back.
actually really is interested in finding out about you, and he's very likable.
Yeah, that's why I like
Yeah.
Martin Maron's one, because he sort of does that, but it's like they're always like squashing some beef or
Right.
had some falling out. Do you ever listen to WTF?
I haven't listened to him, no,
That's a
but I'll
good
put it
one.
on the list.
Because he starts off doing it as are you familiar with the 12 steps in AA?
Yeah.
So he starts off doing it as sort of an exercise, and that he's got to squash beef and make amends with people, and then
Sure.
basically turned that into a podcast. I mean, now
Okay.
it's more like he just interviews people because obviously he can't keep facturing, like
Sure.
falling out with people. But at the start, it's very much like, oh, I was jealous of you, I hated you, and
Right.
all that
Okay.
kind of, which you all deal with in comedy, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So
A different take on a
Yeah.
podcast.
it's good to listen to people like sort of arguing and stuff.
Well, it's certainly for social media purposes. It shares a lot better when there's conflict.
Yes.
We already know that through, well, as a tech head, the conflict and arguments and
Clickbait.
It's all clickbait. Yeah, other people like to watch
Yeah.
other people fighting and arguing. So,
Are you
it's
hoping
like,
that something like that happens, like on one of your podcasts?
no, I'm not that interested in that.
It'd be good though.
It would be good to have something that shared and went viral, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. But no, I'm not that interested in people arguing and fighting. I have no problem with people having any kind of healthy debate or
Yeah.
conversation. I'm a big free speech person, but yeah, I'm not looking for anything right now. I'm just
Yeah.
happy to sit down and do this and just
And
speak with
also
people.
you'll find that it turns into its own thing as you keep doing it.
Yeah.
You'll become it. You'll find your voice with it, and
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
it's a good way to generate material as well, because you're just chatting with people and then stuff.
Yeah,
comes
I
up.
think so. Yeah, definitely getting. I've had, like I said, the first podcast we did was with Raymond Mearns,
Oh wow.
and just a fantastic comic. To tell you the truth, we spoke for about maybe half an hour, 40 minutes before the podcast,
Yeah.
and then we did a podcast for an hour and 20 minutes or something,
Oh wow.
and then we spoke for about an hour 45 minutes afterwards.
And then you think, oh, why can't that go in as well?
Yeah,
I've
but
had that, yeah.
the two bits before and after were probably better conversations than what we had. So it's trying to get that people just to relax a wee bit.
I remember when I done mine, I wanted to do a thing where you don't speak. Like if we met in the car, and if I'd messaged you beforehand saying we're not speaking to each other at all until we put on the mics, but I never had the, because you always end up going with pleasantries and being nice,
Sure.
but I've always wanted to do that of just not speaking and suddenly you're on. Do you know what I mean? We could have done it, but it would have been really awkward in the car, just sitting there in silence.
Yeah, that would have been pretty awkward.
But then I suppose it would create a weird tension, which might carry through to the podcast, and you kind of don't want that. You want it to be like friends.
No, you're wanting things to be open and people are more relaxed as well, I think.
But I think some people do have that approach. It's like method acting, but with
Yeah.
podcasting.
Method acting for podcasting, yeah. Well, I'm certainly not at that level yet.
No, I
so,
don't think I'd...
But, so, I think the last time I saw you was at the Fringe,
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
just outside of the stand.
Yes.
You were doing a show
I was doing
next
that.
door.
Yeah, I was doing a sort of one-man show called Broken Funnies,
Right,
and it was quite a nice sort of... It was a good venue, but it was a bit out of the way.
right.
Like one time I walked past somebody just outside my venue and they said, do you want to stay here or do you want to go back to the Fringe? And I thought, oh,
Right.
no.
Oh, no.
But no, it was really good in terms of, I'd used it to sort of workshop an idea that I've had that I'm doing again this year. So.
Nice. Okay.
Did you do bits more?
I did some 5-minute spots and wherever I could get
Was it good
anything
fun?
going. It was good fun, yeah. I really enjoyed it, yeah. I've been to the Fringe before, but not as a comic,
Yeah.
more just as somebody going to see a show or stuff like that. So it was nice to go around and do some spots, catch some shows, a bit of mix.
It's mad, isn't it? So
It is
tiring
mad.
and
It is, yeah.
It feels
tiring.
like another sort of world when it sort of kicks off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, it just changes. I mean, I'm going through Edinburgh a lot,
Yeah.
and going through right now versus when you're going through in the Fringe, it's just a nightmare. You can't get parked. It's
It's so sad when it's
mobbed.
over because you have all this, like, you're on the Royal Mile on, like, the 2nd of September. It's just dead. And you're like,
Yeah.
I used to own this land. You know,
Yeah.
and then it's like,
It does. It just everything just disappears. you
yeah.
know?
It's like dead posters everywhere. and
Yeah,
just-
people's shattered dreams.
yeah. And then the people, that's why I like staying in Edinburgh. That's the only reason I can afford to do the Fringe is because I live in Edinburgh.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's a nightmare otherwise. People
Oh,
paying
yeah.
like $1,000 for accommodation.
Yeah.
And, that's ridiculous.
That's cheap.
Yeah. And then the buses as well and the taxis, everything just stops.
Yeah.
And because I'm dyspraxic,
Right.
I find it, because they add tents everywhere in the Fringe. Because I remember one time going to, when it was Jekyll and Hyde, I don't know if it still is.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be a gig there, and it's like 10 minutes away from the stand. But because there was tents and stuff everywhere, I was like, where the hell am I? Like, just because, like, if you introduce a different element, I'm like, oh, right, where do I go kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Do you know much about dyspraxia?
I don't actually. Yeah.
So
What
it's
is
like,
that?
It's like basically like physical dyslexia.
Right. Okay.
So it's like I have trouble left and right with coordination.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I sort of always get lost and even can't read maps properly and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's why-
I'm dyslexic.
Oh,
but,
cool.
oh, thanks.
Well done, sir.
So yeah.
I don't know why I
But
said
no,
cool.
I didn't know.
I'm dyslexic as well.
I knew one kid. I knew a family. Their son had dyspraxia. But I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But I had heard the term before. So, okay. I didn't know that's what it meant.
So when you said you come pick me up, that was like a lifesaver because otherwise I get anxious. I get more anxious about finding the gig than the gig most of the time.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I once got lost in Spain for 8 hours, and I ended up at the other side of the island. It was sort of a lad's holiday when I was 18.
Right.
And I met this guy, and he must have been Argentina or something, and he was like, "Oh, you're from Scotland, Braveheart, good, English bad." He was giving me all this banter, right? But he lost his hotel, so he was like, "Oh, I'll help you find if you help me find the hotel, I'll help you find where you're supposed to be." So I
Right.
thought, oh yeah. So we walked for about half an hour, and then he found his hotel, but he obviously didn't want to help me out because he'd found his hotel. He went, "Oh, I'm just going to pee," and then he just ran off. Like, oh, okay. And then I was by myself for a couple hours, but I just happened to bump into my mate at the other side of the island who I was on holiday with. He'd spent the night with a lady, had a completely different night,
Oh, it's a.
had a great night.
Had a
and
great
I've
night.
been wandering about for 8 hours lost.
Oh dear.
But yeah, that's when I was like 18. I haven't been on a lad's holiday since.
Since then.
I find that quite an intimidating sort of idea that you're going on this lad's holiday. It's like, when you see the BBC Three programs with like parents.
Yeah.
watch their kids on holiday and stuff.
Okay.
Do you know that?
I know of it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I've never watched it.
It's that idea that you've got to be a lad and you get drunk. And I remember, there's this woman and she came up to us on the street and she was like, "Oh, you want to come and do some E?" And then we were like, "Oh no, we're okay." And then she started calling us wimps and stuff, and it was all this like, Christ, we just want to get drunk. You never been on lads' holiday?
No, I never went on lads' holiday. I've been on holiday with friends and stuff like that, but never that type of thing. I didn't drink, so.
Oh, me neither. I stopped about a
drink.
year ago.
Yeah, I've never drank, so it's never been.
Have you never tried alcohol?
No, never.
Oh, okay.
Never. But
See,
yeah, but I've been.
I stopped drinking about a year ago just because I'm just too addictive personality.
Right. Okay.
I stopped with the weed and the booze. And,
right.
How
are you feeling?
A lot better.
Well,
it took a while, but
yeah,
I feel a lot more. I feel a lot more sort of stable.
Right.
Whereas if I'm on the booze and the weed, it's like ups and downs.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Ross Leslie was. He's been. I think it's just over a year now. He stopped boozing.
Damn you, Ross, stealing my thunder.
He stopped his boozing as well.
Oh really?
So, yeah, he said he had stopped drinking. He just says he feels better now and just more, more clarity when he's writing and everything else. So.
I do miss it at gigs occasionally, but that's
Sure.
just when nerves kick in.
Yeah.
But then you just text a mate or something.
Sure.
So you just never drunk?
Never drank, no.
Never been tempted?
No, never been tempted
About like
to
weed
drink.
and stuff?
No, never done anything like
wow.
that. No.
So
I'm
it must
quite
be weird for you to come into the comedy world then and everyone's like on drugs.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm not alien to the rest of the world, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was strange. I initially thought, oh, these guys will be, professional.
Yeah.
You know?
That's funny.
No, not really. So, but no, it's just not something I've ever got involved in.
Someone recently, a comedian called Paul Perry, who's from Dundee.
Yeah, I
he
know
stopped
Paul.
drinking.
Yeah.
He put up a lovely post about how he feels a lot better, and he put that his low point. I woke up on a bedroom floor and I was shaking, and this and that, and then our friend Gus commented, "Was that my bedroom floor?" And it was.
Oh no. Is he now? The last time I saw him, he was up in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Doing a slot up there, and I think I met him in. He done the open mic in Dundee as well, actually.
Actually, he was visiting family and stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
So he was up because he's down in London.
Yeah.
So
when I first started, he was like one of the acts. I was like, oh wow, he's so funny. Him and Des Clark.
Yeah.
I remember going, oh wow, because Des Clark I remember seeing, and he was so like fast.
Sure.
And sometimes I think when you first start, you try and maybe not consciously but subconsciously copy people that you admire.
Yeah.
Before you kind of find your own voice.
Yeah, that's. I think every comic will have moments of that, doing that.
Do you find yourself doing that with anyone, or what sort of?
Not necessarily. Maybe anybody in the Scottish comedy scene. But certainly, when I first started, I was looking at. I really a big fan of Jim Gaffigan.
Oh yeah, he's great.
So. My approach was kind of similar to that. Like I liked the fact that he was talking about just himself, his sort of body image, hot pockets and that. But he didn't move around that much. Kind of low energy. Didn't it was just jokes constantly, and I kind of wanted to be like
sort of
that.
Brings people in. It doesn't like. If it's a mad room, he'll just sort of be understated, and everyone will sort of look as opposed to him try to win the crowd over.
Exactly. So I think I felt myself kind of doing stuff like him, and I've kind of caught myself. I know I think in some ways when you begin, you kind of need something to latch on to get going, and now I'm trying to, I'm trying to figure out more.
Yeah. What's
my lane? What I mean, and then there might be some similarities. I think. I could see lots of different comics that are similar in a lot of ways,
totally.
but I'm still at that point trying to find my voice.
I remember early Jim Jeffries. I loved. There's a set that he does, which is about him going to a sex shop.
Yeah,
but it's just basically one-liners.
Right. Yeah.
Every second bit is a joke.
As a joke, yeah.
And then Stuart Francis as well. I love.
Mm-hmm.
And who else? Hans Theowen. It's like a Swedish comic.
Oh, I never heard of him.
Swedish. He's very sort of absurdist. And people like who else? Doug Stanhope, obviously.
Oh, Doug Stanhope, yeah.
I met him once when I was drunk.
Oh, really?
I was.
Where'd you meet him?
I'd done a private gig in Aberdeen.
Okay.
And, it didn't go very well. It was for a certain promoter that we know. And it was one of these like corporate things.
Right, okay.
I went up and died on my cunt, as they say.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
You've said it. It's done.
So it was really horrible. And I got drunk afterwards. And then I was on Belmont Street, if you know your Aberdeen.
Yeah.
And Doug Stanhope walked past. I went, Doug! I went, oh, sorry, I'm a big fan. I'm really drunk. I'm sorry. He's like, oh, it's all right, man. So am I. And then I wanted to tell him that I do stand up, but I didn't have the balls to. So
yeah.
Went, oh, it's great to meet you, man. Cheers.
Yeah.
And it was lovely.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was nice, yeah. But that's one of the reasons I stopped drinking is because you do gigs and then you go, what happened to all my gig money?
Yeah.
You remember that you've spent all the night before. The worst one was, this is becoming like a AA meeting.
Yeah, that's okay.
The worst one was last year, before I stopped drinking, I got so drunk that I got into a taxi and I didn't have money. And I just remember waking up and the taxi was outside my brother's.
Mm-hmm.
I'd called my brother's panicking. So he came down and gave me money and I went all the way out to Ellen where I was staying at the time.
Right.
And I don't remember any of it. Like, I remember waking up going, how did I get home?
Yeah.
And then my brother was like, oh, I've got a story for you. But the worst part is at the end of the taxi ride, I went, how much is that? And he went, oh, no, your brother's paid for it. All right.
So you're not originally from Edinburgh, though. You're from up north.
Aberdeen,
Ellen. Yeah. Ellen.
Ellen.
Okay. Yeah, I know the time. Yeah.
Well, my family just it's quite sad, really. It was my family home till last year, and then my mum moved out last year to move to Belfast.
Okay.
Be closer to my sister and the grandkids and stuff.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
And then my sort of uncle died a few months ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And he was sort of one of the last links to like Alan. So
yeah.
It's very sad in a way. And so yeah, it's sort of a weird time because I'm sort of coming to terms with the fact that my childhood home isn't, there anymore. There's other people stay in it. And I don't know, it's weird. I keep having dreams about it and stuff. Like I keep having dreams that I'm back home, but that it's the other people that own the house now, they're away, and I'm somehow snuck in, and I'm trying to relive my childhood in this house, and I know they're on their way back. It's totally absurd.
Well, don't get drunk and do that.
That'd be worrying, eh?
Yeah.
Just turning up. I used to live here. Will you cook me dinner? Oh, Christ. But yeah. So it's that thing. I think it's just that me, because it takes me a while to process things. It's just me missing that kind of base,
Mm-hmm.
But then I went to stay at my mum's in Belfast over Christmas, and that just felt like I'm at home, but I'm in Belfast.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
did you enjoy Belfast?
Oh, it was great. I still need to do some gigs over there.
Yeah.
But it was nice just to see my niece and nephew.
Yeah.
And, it was funny actually because my brother was over as well. My niece is about 3, and she said, I think she'd seen me more over the years.
Yeah.
She'd met Matthew before, but because she's only 3, she only has a certain amount of memory.
Of course.
And she said to my brother, oh, you'd like Uncle Martin. I think you'd get on. He was like, well, we're brothers.
Very good.
But yeah, no, that was great. Christmas was great. What about you? Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, just very similar. All the family there. I've got a brother and a sister that live in America now.
Oh, nice.
So they weren't there. But no, the rest of the family.
Have you been over there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I noticed we're both wearing like American type shirts.
Yeah. Well, I've said this before. I lived in America for about 6 years.
Oh, whereabouts?
So in Utah.
Oh, wow.
So
you didn't pick up the accent?
No, I didn't.
It's like your Scottish accent was like the turban, not.
Yeah, I picked up a little bit in the sense of I had to learn to maybe just slow down, pronounce things a bit, and so your accent changes slightly.
Yeah.
But no, majority of it. And I've been home now for probably about 6 years now.
I hate people. John Barrowman.
No.
He's from America, but every time he gets interviewed in Glasgow, he like pretend he puts on the Scottish accent.
Oh, okay.
But it seems insincere, like he's putting it on to show that he's like part of the Glasgow people. But he's
Right.
like, oh no, I just pick accents up. I'm Scottish here. I'm Scotch. It's that kind of thing.
Oh, no, I don't like
he didn't
that.
get any of it.
No. I think I'm older. I was just older. I was 32 when I went out, and so.
So what did you do when you were there?
I went to a local college there, and then I worked for an IT company.
Oh wow!
While I was out there as well.
What was the college like over there?
College was nice. Yeah, it was a cool wee college. It was like it wasn't like a regular college. It was what they don't call it a trade school, but it was very much a sort of very hands-on college.
Oh.
So like all the IT courses that they had were very hands-on orientated.
Oh.
So it wasn't so much a lot of exams, whereas they just wanted you to set stuff up, get it working, test it, and that's the best way to do IT. Is you just have to do it.
Yeah, it's like corporate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was very much like that, and that was kind of the ethos of the whole school. They wanted to get you doing the actual stuff as much as possible. They've got one of the best. When I was there, they had one of the best interior design. Like that part of the school, the interior design course. There was people that have done. It was one of the best in the nation of America.
Oh, wow.
It was known for one of the best, and so people that had done 4-year degrees, sometimes in New York or LA or wherever, were still applying and trying to come to this school to do interior design because it was so well. And it was only a 2-year college because America has these 2-year colleges, and people were just desperate to come to it because what they found is they had a high percentage rate of jobs. So everybody coming to this college were getting jobs.
Yeah.
So clearly they had great hands-on experience. They knew what they were doing, from the get-go.
So the fact that you studied there, did that help you get a job when you came back? Or did you work in America for a while?
I worked in America. I was at the college for about 3 years. I kind of pulled it out for as long as I can, just hanging out,
Yeah.
And then I worked for about 3 years,
Oh.
and then didn't get the visa thing. Didn't quite work out, so I had to come back home. But I'd done IT here before I went out, so when I was doing the college there, a lot of it was very easy to do.
Is there a big difference between the way the different American companies operate?
From the ones I've done work here, the one in America, they're making more money.
Right.
They're just making more money. It's as simple as that.
Is it always the same sort of office dynamic? Can you find that it's sort of universal?
The one I worked in, I only worked in the one. There was 3 partners, really sound guys. If they had a business meeting, they would kind of dress up.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, they didn't really care that much.
Oh, cool.
And they were very friendly, very nice. When 5 o'clock came, that was the end. Now, if they got a phone call, they would be there to help the customer.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time, it was, okay, get the PlayStation on, we're all playing FIFA.
Oh, cool, yeah.
They were big gamers and stuff
nice.
like that. And they had a pinball machine. So things were kind of quiet. Like, I think I spent one time about 3 weeks and nothing happened.
Oh,
like, there was just no phone calls.
Yeah.
There was very little going on. And I just played pinball. Like, I just got out of my seat and just be playing pinball. Now, normally, you'd be kind of, oh, my bosses.
Yeah.
But they'd be kind of like, what's your score? Like, they didn't care. They knew. They were like, you're an insurance policy.
Oh, wow.
So you're just here. If there's a phone call, we send you out. But if there's not, that's not your problem. We're clearly doing our jobs because nobody's calling us. And they're still getting paid anyway because we've got maintenance fees and things like that.
Cool.
So they tried to sponsor me to stay. But the visa applications in America are just mental.
I feel like if that was the UK, they'd be looking for stuff for you to do to keep you busy.
Yeah, probably. That might be the case.
But they tried to sort of rally for you to stay.
Yeah, they did. They were really disappointed when they couldn't get me to stay. So it's just the way the American visa situation is so difficult. It's just mental. So.
But you're still in touch with people and stuff.
Yeah, still stay in touch with them and that. Yeah.
Had you ever tried comedy when you were over there?
No, I didn't. I hadn't done any comedy. I'd done some short films. I'd made 3 short films. I had done, some writing, script, stuff like that. And that's where my main focus was initially when I was out there as well. I wanted to get involved. So I worked on some independent stuff, some friends there helped
Anything
me.
I would know of?
No, not really. I think just all local stuff across there, But the guys I worked with, they were really good guys. And I made this posters from...
Oh, yeah.
I made that while I was out there. Cool. Spoke about that on one of the podcasts. And it was a lot of good fun. A lot of cool scenery, and there's mountains, there's snow, there's desert, there's all sorts of stuff. So but then when I got back here, when I kind of got back on my feet, because when I didn't get my visa, they send you a letter through saying you can't, your application has been denied, sort of thing. In my case, it wasn't denied. They only take in 60,000 visas a year for this particular visa that I was allowed to apply for. Jeez. And there was about, that year I applied, there was about 120,000 people applied for it. If I had qualified a little bit earlier from college and applied the year before, there was actually 10,000 visas left over that nobody used.
Jesus.
But when I went in for it, it was like this flood of people suddenly were trying to get this visa.
What year was it?
It would have been I came home in 2014, so that would have been 2012.
Oh, okay.
So, and as soon as that happened, I had about a 40% chance of getting it, and I didn't get it, and so I had one more year to apply again, and when I applied the next year, there was 190,000 people applied, so the number just went up. So I knew then I was probably never going to get it, and so when the letter came, they just send a letter through with your existing package of information that you send, just saying, I'm sorry you were not selected to even be processed, basically. And I had 60 days to leave the country.
So how many days did it take you to leave?
Well, I left inside about just under 30 days, but maybe 25 days. About 3.5 weeks later, I left.
So was that quite a come down coming back to Dundee?
It was nice. It was difficult coming home because I had obviously been out there for about 6 years. I had established a life. I had a car, a job that was pretty good. A social life, friends, a lot of good hobbies, bits and pieces. I had, just a whole pile of stuff there. And then, basically, I was told, you're going to have to leave. And I was kind of like, oh, great. I'm going to have to start all over again. So I came back here, and now my parents had a house here, so I wasn't going to be homeless.
Did your body clock take a while to adjust?
It took about 3 or 4 weeks to get back into getting up, because initially when I come back, I didn't have a job.
And what was the time difference?
It's about 7 hours.
Right, okay.
7 hours. So they're behind us.
Right.
So, but yeah, I got back, and I still did work for one client, and I came right back, and my cousin picked me up from the airport. He drove me to this client who I was still doing work for even when I was over there. They just said, could you just keep an eye on this? We'll give you so much money every month. I was like, yeah, fine. And it was, money for nothing, basically. And I showed up, and they were like, oh, what are you doing here? And I was like, I had to come back home. Is there any chance you can give me my monthly money? Normally, they put it into this my bank account. In America, they would just transfer it over. But I says, look, I don't even have a bank account. I had no bank account and nothing here, because I'd shut everything down. To tell you the truth, I didn't really think I was going to come back.
Oh, wow.
And so I had to, they says, right, there you go. So I had 150 quid. That's what they were due me. I got the 150 quid. I bought a cell phone, or a mobile phone, I should say. Still saying some things. Opened up a bank account. And basically just started calling up every, law firms, any accountants, anybody I knew. Just to say, look, I'm back. I'm setting up my own IT stuff. I just need to get back to work.
So how many months till you were fully back on your feet?
It probably took about 6-7 months to get something regular and
But was there a period of
going.
Sort of being unemployed and being like, oh, it's all over? And
not really. I was quite lucky. A couple of the people as soon as I got in touch with them were like, oh yeah, we were actually thinking about doing this and this. So I got a couple of good jobs that got running.
Yeah.
But then there was a gap, probably for about 4 or 5 months, where there was really not a lot.
Yeah.
But I did end up picking up another gig, doing another job, and that kind of repelled everything. Now everything's pretty balanced out and stuff. So, and then once I'd done that, that's when I started looking at what do I want to do? Do I want to do filmmaking? And there was a part of me that thought, should I move somewhere else? Should I go down to London or
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'd have to start. What happens if it fails again? I would have to come start again. I need to do something that's here, maybe. At least until I was back on my feet. And
better to fail and never try.
Exactly. And I kind of went down the rabbit hole of stand-up comedy. I started reading about it. It just intrigued me. And the next minute, I'm doing open spots and starting to do it and really enjoying it. And then obviously now I'm sitting here doing a podcast with you.
You've made it.
I made it.
So your first gig was where?
First gig was in Dundee.
At the Icebreaker.
The Icebreaker's open mic, yeah. I was at the little place called The Church.
Cool.
That was my first gig. And then I can't remember my second gig. But
did your first gig go well?
Sorry?
Did your first gig go well?
It went. I was thinking. I think I was so nervous I didn't even realize what had happened. I just did it.
Yeah.
It was like a robot. I just did it and walked off stage.
The problem is sometimes people's first gigs go well, and then say their first gig is at the stand in front of like 200 people. And the stand are like a lovely audience. It's a red ball.
Yeah.
And then their second gig is in a pub in front of 8 people, and they think, oh, it's gonna be the same.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not.
No, mine was in front of about...
I'm looking at you, Andrew Sim, anyway.
My first gig was in front of maybe like 10 people in a place, let's say, called The Church. It's like a total barn. It's an actual church.
Oh, wow.
So it's huge, big, high ceilings. Any laughter that there was, which there wasn't a lot, would just disappear.
Yeah.
And it was the rest of them were just comics, but I was just more happy to have just got up and did it.
Yeah.
And I came off the stage, and I knew right away, I was like, okay, I know I didn't get a lot of laughs. I got one good laugh.
Yeah.
I thought, that's where I start from.
Yeah.
And I just knew that I was going to have to keep going, and I knew I had to die, and I had to go through all... I mean, I'm still doing that now, so...
You learn more from a bad gig, don't you, sometimes? You go, oh, that didn't work, that didn't work. Oh, this little bit works, I'll open with that. And
exactly. So, dying doesn't... I mean, nobody likes it, but... It's just part of it. I think it's good to get rid of the rubbish. Like a lot of jokes I started out with, I don't even use now because I know I started noticing jokes that were getting like maybe like an 8 out of 10 kind of laugh, and this joke's only getting a 4. So there's no point in having this little joke that just like a downfall, let down to the crowd almost. So you're just tearing it away all the time. So.
Especially because in terms of cause you're quite one-linery as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's like the rhythm you want it to be sentence, laugh, sentence, laugh.
Yeah, I try to do that,
It's harder to build up material, I think, that way.
It is difficult, yeah. And I've trying to move out a little bit and try to use that, make it in a more story structure. And so I have the one-lines in it, but make it more like a story.
Linked all together.
Linked together, yeah, exactly. So I've been trying to do that as well. And I think some things for me are always a slow burner, so I'm quite happy to just...
Have you got any IT jokes?
Not really.
I've got one for you. That's
okay.
Right. Me and my mate, me and Ian, you know Ian Campbell?
I know Ian. Yeah.
We sometimes write together, and this is one that I think he came up with that actually, which is a bit annoying. It was like, I've got a weird crush on IT people.
Okay.
They turn me on, then they turn me off again, then they turn me on. And then the other one that I like is that I was excited the other day. I thought it was on the dark web.
Sure.
But it turns out I didn't have the brightness fully turned up on the monitor. It's just silly.
Yeah.
But have you ever like been on the dark web or anything?
No. I
always watch like creepypasta stuff about it, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. I've said they use what they call a Tor network.
It's that onion, isn't it?
Yeah, that type of thing. And I
know the lingo.
I've set it up before when I was in America. We set it up in the college just as a laugh. And we set that up. And but as soon as we tried to go in and use it, the college about exploded. Like, took us down. They were like, "What is like the?" Because they got a big IT department.
Oh Christ!
And they came down the stairs like that.
Fuck.
And
what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, they were like, "What is going on?" And I
just gotta get into the mainframes. 1 second.
The head guy that ran it, I worked for him at the college when I was at the college.
Yeah.
So he came and he's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "We're just setting up as a laugh."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, you can't do that. The main department that does our security have been on the phone like, there's port scanning, there's all this stuff going on. What's going on?"
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we set it up, and I tried to make out that it was, it's part of our curriculum. We had to set something up and test. And he was like, right, okay, just get rid of it. Get rid of it. So that's about the only time we...
Good blagging skills. Oh, it's part of our course.
Yeah, well, they didn't know what they were doing. I don't even think our teacher knew what we were doing half the time. So, but we also set up a Bitcoin thing.
Oh, yeah, my mate does really well for that.
Yeah, we ran it for about a week in the college just to make, like, to show proof of concept, and then just shut it down.
Oh, I could have...
It was back in, like, 2009.
Oh, no, you could have made $1 million.
Oh, I could have made a fortune off it, probably. We just shut it down and dumped it. We were just like, because nobody at that time, they were worthless. It was just a proof of concept. We thought, that'd be cool, let's build it and do it for fun, and we just dumped it.
My mate made heaps of money off of Bitcoin, and his sort of girlfriend was like, always making fun of him, like, oh, look at you on the computer all the time.
Yeah.
Until he used a Bitcoin to order a new washing machine, and then she was like, oh, bloody hell.
Yeah. It's not gone away. It's not gone away yet.
And there's other ones now coming in, like other
There's
types.
tons. There's tons of them. Yeah, altcoins, they call them.
I thought of a pun. I could put a penny in half and then say, oh, it's Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But I couldn't cut a penny in half. Do you get Bitcoin? Do you get it?
Oh, right, okay, I get what you're...
It's like a visual guy.
Sure.
But I don't know how to cut a penny in half.
Yeah, I wouldn't be cutting pennies.
This is my life.
This is your life. This is what you're thinking about. So how many times have you done the Fringe?
So I done bits and bobs like a few years ago. Like I was doing like helping people out and doing spots, and then the first I started doing solo shows was I done a show called Jokes and Feelings at the Beehive, and then a year later I done Burn the Midnight Oil, which is like a late night dark comedy show.
Yep.
And then last year I'd done my sort of play.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
that was the first time I tried something completely different, something out of my comfort zone. So this year will be my 4th year sort of doing a proper show.
Okay. And how did the play go?
Yeah, it was great. It was Andrew Sim helped me develop it. Hello, Andrew. And it was sort of about me trying to make my therapist laugh.
Okay.
And why I'm trying to make my therapist laugh, and then what that leads to, and it's sort of about how trauma affects different people in different ways.
Sure.
So sometimes, if you've had quite a traumatic childhood, you then everything turns into a joke. Because that's your way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
And you can actually, make a living out of that.
Sure.
But also, it doesn't mean you necessarily have dealt with what's happened, kind of thing. So it starts off funny and it gets dark and it gets funny. So yeah. So I'm reworking it this year to do again.
And you're going to just doing it again as a play?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's sort of remastered. So I'm sort of looking at bits that didn't quite work and sort of honing bits and stuff like that.
And are you going to be doing it in the same room, or are you going to do it someplace different?
No, I'm waiting to hear about different venues.
Right.
So I've applied to a few different places, Laughing Horse mainly, and 52 Canoes as well.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just waiting to hear like what sort of venue I would get. But it's quite exciting because Richard Gadd came to see it.
Okay.
And he obviously had a really great show a couple of years ago, Monkey See, Monkey Do, and he gave me a great quote for the poster.
Oh, very cool.
Year.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I get good audiences. And,
yeah.
It's just what I like to do is, that sounds wanky, what I like to do, but what I'm interested in now is sort of making people laugh, but then what else can you do with that?
Sure.
Like, after you've made them laugh, maybe if they feel a bit sad for you because you've made them laugh, it's more sort of poignant. And, like the best Simpsons episodes always have about 18 minutes of jokes, and then there's that 1 minute of like, oh, Homer's quite sad. And
yeah, the drama.
Yeah. Or like, remember the one where he he finally meets his mum, and then the brilliant, he's sitting there after she drives off, and then it just cuts to night, and he's still sitting there. It's like stuff like that.
Yeah, these moments of tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm more interested in that now than sort of in like screenplay structure,
right?
And like how to write. Like I downloaded Judd Apatow's masterclass.
Yeah.
And it's basically like about structure, about your first act, about your second act. In fact, I put this on Facebook the other day. I walked past someone and they were having a fight outside a van. And this was 2 at night.
Right.
And I thought that's definitely the end of a second act. Like, if this is a movie, that'd be like them getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking at now at the moment. I'm quite interested in like play structure and theater structure and film structure. And is there a difference? And
well, I've done some screenwriting stuff and that. So you obviously got your 3 acts and things like that.
Yeah.
But I used I found it useful. For me, it was quite visual. Was Save the Cat.
Okay.
You can get it like an Amazon book. It's called Save the Cat. By Blake Schneider, I believe his name is. And he basically kind of just breaks down each section into like a quote.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to they all have their different names for stuff, the hook and all that type of thing. But he has just the way it all goes. I can't remember all the names off the top of my head, but you have your kind of opening image.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be the sort of show, kind of help show the theme, like an idea of what this is going to be, and then so you have opening image, then you have your kind of hook, which should be around about page 5 sort of thing, or even now they're saying page 3 sometimes. They want it, you got to hook the audience in, and then it goes to the debate, or they have generally your heroes, they talk about the hero getting the challenge.
Journey,
so he gets presented with a challenge, and then he has to debate whether he's going to do it.
Okay.
And then you've got then you're suddenly going in Act 2, and then he has different ways of doing it. He talks about the fun and games. So you've always got that part of the film that basically ends up being the trailer.
Yes.
So all the bits you see in the trailer are generally the parts that are the fun parts.
Well, now it's a lot worse with trailers. They just give the whole film away.
Well, exactly. They're maybe giving too much away.
Yeah.
But he just breaks it all down. It was just a really, really good book. I got that book, Save the Cat. And he does another one where he basically analyzes like 10 different movies. And he has different themes for every type of kind of films you get. So basically there's a sort of like monster in the house is kind of like your survival type movie and things like that. So he has the different genres, what type of film they fall under.
Cool.
And it just makes you suddenly analyze a film and go, oh, right, okay, I could see what he's talking about now when you watch the film. And then it helps you break down your structure.
One of my favorite movies is Sideways. Have you seen it?
Yeah, Sideways, yeah.
And I just love it. And I've read the book as well. And I just love the structure of it. And how, like, from the first moment, because some of it's about how men lie. Yeah. And the first moment you see him, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm just stuck in traffic, but he's in his bathroom.
Exactly.
And, I just love the way that movie, sort of the characters, the way they speak, and kind of stuff like that. Would you say that's a traditional structure for a movie?
I think you would be able to find that will fit in. Like they all seem to fit in at some point.
Would be that they're going to their wine. They're going to the wine weekend. Yeah. And then when the Virginia Madsen's character is introduced, that's very much kind of, I don't know. That's like the meet cute, do they call it?
I think, like I said, there's all these different terminologies for it all. But I think you'll find it. Some films, they don't quite jigsaw, like, fit in perfectly. But you can see, like you said, the whole film is basically about guys lying. Yeah. The first opening image is him lying. Yeah. So it's establishing it right away. So there's your kind of opening image or kind of theme to the whole film.
Or it's like what the Simpsons do is the opposite. Their first act sometimes is nothing to do with anything else that happens.
Yeah, exactly. So that you have little things that'll throw it, which makes it different.
Yeah.
As well. And that's what sometimes films stand out. You go, oh, okay, this is different. You know, like when the first sort of Reservoir Dogs came out from Tarantino, it was totally different.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, now a lot of Tarantino stuff is very similar.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of knows what to expect almost.
And then people make fun of it, and it becomes a cliche, and then something else comes along, and
exactly. And then the just had the guy who won the Korean guy. His name's Boon.
I can't remember.
I can't remember his name now, but he won the film for Parasite.
All right.
I haven't seen it yet, but I have seen he done the American film Snowpiercer.
Okay.
With Chris Evans.
Oh, cool.
And it's a great film. I did see there was another good one. It's not his film. Is Train to Busan.
All right.
A great film as well.
Cool.
So yeah, people will probably start trying. What's going on in Korea, and they'll start watching Korean films, and that'll maybe,
bad remakes.
There'll be bad remakes, but there'll also be people that'll maybe take stuff from their elements that'll make them make films that are slightly different or whatever as well. So
what's your favourite movie?
Rick actually asked me this just a little while ago, or in the podcast, and I said the same thing. There's tons of great films, but for me, I choose my film based on it's a memory-based thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a John Wayne film.
Oh, nice.
Called Big Jake.
Okay.
It's one of his kind of not his last film, but one of his very last.
A bit bigger and a bit.
Yeah, it's in the 70s.
Yeah. He's a bit washed up.
He's still okay.
Yeah.
He's still okay. At least on camera anyway. Yeah. And again, John Wayne always just does John Wayne.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, my grandfather loved John Wayne. That's all he watched was cowboys, and I'm a big I love cowboy films, or at least good cowboy films. And I used to just watch this Big Jake film with him all the time. And probably as a little kid, I probably shouldn't have been watching it. It was quite a violent film as well,
But it's got that emotional.
There's just this emotional connection. If find it's on the TV, I have to watch it. I'm just like, that's it. This is what I'm watching.
But if you'd never seen it as a kid and it came on the TV, would you think it was good?
Yeah, I think I probably would still think it was good. I don't think it's. I watch it now, and as a film kind of person, I would probably look at it and go, okay, I can see where all the mistakes are, the problems, blah, blah, blah. But it's just that emotional connection to me. I'm just like, this is great. I love this.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
I'm like that with certain movies. Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah.
Classic
film, Flight of the Navigator. I mean, a lot of people have it. They have Star Wars, Indiana Jones, all these 80s films, E.T.
Yeah.
All these films.
I found out my niece and nephew watched Flight of the Navigator recently and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was like, yes!
Yeah, it's a great film.
I've got the soundtrack on my phone.
Oh, really?
Suddenly come on, and I'll be like, oh, fuck, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's all very subtle and like, doo-doo-doo.
Another one that came out in the 80s like that, I loved it when I was a kid, was the Monster Squad.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, you should check out Monster Squad. It's like kind of typical American suburbs where these kids and Dracula and Frankenstein show up and they have to battle them as little kids in the 80s. It's a cool little film, kind of like Flight of the Navigator type thing.
Oh, that sounds very.
It's just a really cool film. I remember watching it. We'd go to the video store, rent the film, and just watch it all the time. Thought it was amazing. But another film like that for me is my cousin. He's probably about.
I think I say my cousin Vinny.
That's a great movie. That is a great film. But my cousin Lee, his older brother, his brother's like 10 years older than him, and he's about 3 years older than me. So he was way older than us. But he bought some old films that he'd bought from like a video store that was shutting down or something like that, and he'd got them. And he had these two films. One of them was, I can't remember what it was called. It was like Ninja 3 Domino Effect.
Was that the Free Kid, the Ninja?
No. This was just this really bad straight to videos 80s ninja film.
Oh,
and we used to sneak up to his bedroom. We'd take that film, and we'd also take The Warriors.
Right.
You ever see The Warriors?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's Walter Hill.
Oh, cool.
Just a great film set in the sort of the late 70s. It's based on
Did Walter Hill do Serpico? Am I thinking of someone else?
Walter Hill did 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got that same feel to it all. But it's the Warriors. It's just this classic, great film about these. It's basically based on these gangs that are all from around the New York area in the 70s.
Yeah.
And it's got this kind of futuristic vibe, but there's no technology in it. But the names and the jackets they wear are really, I don't know what about it. Just kind of odd looking for that. Even that time period, like, what's going on here, you know? But it's basically there's a story of these based on 300.
Yes.
So the Persian army came to fight the Greeks.
Yeah.
And they were defeated. But part of the Persian army, there was tons of mercenaries that were there. And after the big Greek war and the Persians were defeated, there was this group of Persian mercenaries who were basically caught behind enemy lines. And they basically had to fight their way through all these different Greek factions to get to the sea to escape.
Okay.
This is part of sort of your Greek mythology and stories and stuff like that. Well, that's what the Warriors is. It's basically a group of all the gangs of New York come together to speak to this one leader. And the leader gets, who's trying to sort of like unite all the gangs into basically like a giant mafia. Because they're just all street punk gangs. Oh. And each gang has to send like 8 or 9 delegates. And so they come all the way from Coney Island, which is kind of on the beach, that area of New York. They go to there. The leader who's speaking to them all gets shot. And then the police show up and all the gangs scatter. But it turns out this one particular gang who shot him, they blame the Warriors. They say it's the Warriors.
Right.
And so the news goes out on the radio, get the Warriors. And so they're now trapped trying to get back to Coney Island to try and, get away. And they're having to fight their way through all these different gangs. And there's all these different gang names. It's just a really cool...
Who's in it?
Absolutely nobody you would ever know, really, to tell you the truth. There's no name people in it at all, really. It's just a way cool film. And when I was just a little, 8, 9, 10 years old, just watching these guys just fighting and brawling and then running and just escaping all the time. And even to this day, I just like, it's another one of those films like, I've got to watch this when it comes on.
Isn't it horrible when you see a film as a kid and you watch it as an adult and it's terrible?
Oh, yeah.
The first movie I ever saw in the cinema was Mario Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yep. And obviously that's a terrible movie.
Yeah, that is a terrible movie.
But at the time, I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
I want ice cream.
The worst film I saw in the cinema was a Harrison Ford film.
Oh, I know. I bet I can guess which one.
Which one?
Was he doing a Russian accent?
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me guess.
No, it's way old. This is in the 80s.
Was Henry Winkler in it?
No.
What was it?
It was called Mosquito Coast.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. It was awful. I remember going, me and my 2 cousins, we were down the town here in Dundee. There was 2 cinemas, and one of them had a screen and the other one had 2.
Yeah.
And we went down, and it was like, what was on? We're like, what's on? They're like, it's Harrison Ford, Mosquito Coast. And now, we didn't have any clue about what it is. There's no internet. Nobody knows what's going on. And we're just like, it's Harrison Ford. Well, it must be amazing.
Yeah.
We go in, and it's just about Harrison Ford kind of in the Amazon jungle type thing. And initially, I thought, this will be interesting. And it was just awful. It was just some sort of psychological weird thing. Nothing good for...
Yeah.
It was a PG as well, which was really weird because it was. I don't remember it being violent or anything, but it was just
like an Indiana Jones.
Yeah, you were thinking, it's Harrison Ford. These, and the picture looked like it was in the jungle. I thought this has got to be great, and it wasn't. It was just really bad. Just kept thinking, Harrison.
Have you seen it since?
I haven't seen it since. I just keep thinking I don't want to watch it. It was so bad then. But I'm wondering if it's one of those films as an adult
you might enjoy it.
I would then go, oh, nah, I totally get it. What a masterpiece. But
it's like Taxi Driver or something. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's
yeah.
all character piece.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's probably the worst film I saw.
Often with comedies, I find that I'll really enjoy a comedy and then I'll look at the reviews and go, oh, no, they didn't like that. Like, critics didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like, movie 43, I kind of thought was really funny, but everyone hated it.
Yeah, I think there was parts of it that I laughed at, and then other parts I was like, whatever.
Naomi Watts' bit was great.
Yeah.
And I thought I was laughing my ass off watching it.
Here's the thing. I think critics, sometimes they get it right, and sometimes, a lot of the time, they just don't get it right. I mean, there's a lot of times there's films where people will go, the critics will be like, oh, it's rubbish. It's just no use at all. But the audience gives it huge reviews.
Well, didn't that happen with the Jojo Rabbit one? I've not seen it, but I heard that it got weird, mediocre critic reviews, but people loved it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard that it's great.
Yeah.
But it did happen with what was the film it just happened with recently? It was like it got like 99. Well, even like Dave Chappelle's new special, the audience gave it like 99%, loved it, and the critics were panning it.
The Last Jedi happened with that, didn't it?
Yeah.
I thought I liked The Last Jedi. Did you like it?
I thought it was okay.
But I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I enjoyed it as a movie.
Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I've been kind of disappointed with the three that have just came.
Well, I tried watching the last one, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I just saw the last one that came on the cinema, and I enjoyed it to a certain degree. You know, it was entertainment
Nice to see
enough.
Richard E. Grant in it.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
But
I left. I cried.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bless him. But apparently, Limmy. Did you see Limmy done an impression of it?
No.
Limmy done an impression of him, and then Richard E. Grant blocked him on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But did you see the movie last year done with Melissa McCarthy, Richard E. Grant?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I know the one you're talking about.
Great.
Yeah, I heard it's really,
Oscar,
really good.
He?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I love a good comeback like that. Even Michael Keaton is one of my favourite ones when he won.
With her Birdman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love it because he was still going, but he just wasn't up there. You know, he was still making movies. Sort of John Travolta and along.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he's making stuff, but it's not great, and then he does that one thing, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's back."
Yeah, well, I'm waiting on seeing if that happens with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
because he's went downhill and he's just
Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta's doing the same thing. He's just banging out films just for making money, probably. And
yeah, I love a good comeback. Like Matthew McConaughey's one was good.
Yeah, with the Dallas Buyers Club. Yeah, he is still not. The last time I saw a picture of him, he still doesn't look healthy yet.
No,
it's took a lot out of him. I don't know what's going on, but he still doesn't look the way he was before he done that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the last couple of pictures I saw, I thought, oh, he still looks slim. Like he hasn't got, got bulked up again, or he's still quite slim. So, but I like Matthew McConaughey.
I really admire actors even like Sylvester Stallone, where they have such lows, but then they have such highs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah.
Is there anyone now that you would like to see make a comeback? Like,
I used to think that it'd be cool to see Steve Guttenberg come
cool.
back, but I've heard
that's
not going to happen, and I've heard some strange things about him as well. So,
like
what? I heard that he lived up the street from I can't remember the name of the actress. There was an actress I think it was in the 90s, and I think she got killed by her boyfriend or something.
Right.
And suddenly he appeared because he lived up the road, like 3 or 4 houses away. And he suddenly appeared. This is what I heard anyway. He appears in front of the house, and he's now speaking to all the reporters. And it was almost like they were coming to him for information about her.
That's
and
weird.
It was just really weird. And people were like, why is he talking to her? Like, he didn't really know her. He didn't. It was almost like he's like, oh, yeah, this was a great opportunity to be in the camera or something.
Oh, Christ.
So, yeah, I'm not sure about him. I don't think he's going to make a comeback. I don't know, maybe Ted Danson?
He's doing The Good Place.
He is doing The Good Place, I suppose. But maybe in films.
Right, okay.
Because I used to watch Cheers, and I always liked him in Cheers. He was always quite funny in that.
It'd be nice if he'd done something like dramatic, like Tarantino movie, and it was all like,
yeah,
oh my god, he's bad. He's different side to Ted Danson.
Exactly. Yeah, get a Tarantino something, reinvent him again. He was remember he done that sort of bit piece in Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
He had that little bit that he did there. And
very good character.
Yeah, he's a great character actor.
And he was great in Damages.
Oh yeah.
He's a bad guy.
He is. I like when there's actors you don't know and they do bad guy stuff as well. Like when John Travolta done Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy, and you're like, oh okay. I also like what's his name now? He's done a couple of villain pieces, but he was just in the what's his name now?
What was he in?
He was in Harry and the Hendersons.
John Lithgow.
Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah, I really like him.
In Dexter.
But he's done Dexter, but he done Cliffhanger.
Yes.
With Sylvester Stallone. He was the baddie in that, and he was brilliant.
Yeah, totally.
And then he done a film where Denzel Washington was a cop called Ricochet.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
It was a sort of late 80s, the early sort of 90s film area. And he played a bad guy, like a real sort of psycho in that. And he was really good. And I also just remember thinking, he was Harry and the Hendersons. Like
I remember seeing him in Third Rock from the Sun and going, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then watching him in Cliffhanger and going, oh my God, he's so funny in that.
Yeah, he's just a great actor. So I like that when I see actors that could just go from...
And then there was like episode of Third Rock where he played the evil version of Dick, and it was like, oh, he's doing his villain voice. Yay!
Yeah. So I like that. I like when actors can do that type of thing.
Yeah.
You know? Not just all the same roles all the time. They could switch and move around.
Yeah, it's weird with Stallone because if you just looked at the Rocky movies, you'd think, oh, he's a character actor.
Yeah.
But then he has this sort of action side to him where, like, if you watch him in Rocky, it's like Oscar-worthy performance. You know, he's won, like, Golden Globes for it.
Sure.
Then you watch him in something like Daylight.
Yeah.
He's sort of very shouty and one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And you think, surely his career could have went a different way. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could have been more actory.
Yeah, I think he got caught up in that 80s thing where he was, he was a good-looking guy. He was all muscle. And in the 80s, that's what they were looking for. They had Schwarzenegger doing stuff, and then you had Die Hard coming in at the sort of the late 80s, and Mel Gibson.
Yeah, the annoying thing is, I think if Copland had done better, which is a great movie.
Yeah, it is a great film.
He would have done more character parts, but because it didn't make money, he went, all right, I'll do remake a Get Carter.
Yeah, that was a. Yeah, it's hard. And I think it's hard as well. Sometimes it's us as an audience. We don't like people. Sometimes we're like, oh no, you're Rocky. You're Cobra.
Yeah, totally.
We kind of, so when they do something different, we're kind of like, oh no, I don't want to see that. I don't think he'll be good at that, and we don't give them enough. But
it's weird because his failures make Rocky Balboa better when you see like another comeback.
Yeah,
it's almost like his artistic failures at other things sort of makes him better at being Rocky. Like it bleeds into it, kind of thing. But I didn't like the last Rambo. It was terrible. Did you watch
the last one was terrible. It was. I thought it was going to be good.
Yeah, me too.
I liked the premise. I thought, oh, this could be really interesting, and then it just became this really kind of dumb. It wasn't. It was like Home Alone. Like at the end, it was like, what is this?
And yeah.
It ended very I didn't have any. I know that the cartel guys that were coming were bad.
Yeah.
But there was nobody to hate.
Yeah.
Like I didn't hate any. When finally I was like, oh, he got killed, right?
He should have went through more and been like, cause there's a bit where he's been beaten up by the gang.
Yeah.
I liked that but I thought he should have been degraded and beaten up more, and then it would have been a lift when he came back.
Yeah.
But there should have been a better dimension with the girl in it.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been a better sort of rapport or relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
The women tend to be one-dimensional.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, there was certainly a lot missing from that, and it was a bit of a disappointment considering the last one was really good, I really enjoyed that last one. So
yeah, because that was around the Rocky Balboa time, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Rambo 4.
Yeah, and he came out with all of that. So, that was a disappointment. So hopefully, if he does something else, it'll be.
Is he doing another Expendables?
He's doing another Expendables. I heard he was supposed to be doing. There might be another Rocky in the pipeline, like something to do with in that Creed, in the Creed franchise.
Well, I think if they do a third Creed, then surely he dies in it.
Yeah,
they die halfway through.
Yeah, something's got to happen. So
that's the problem with the Rocky films, is they kept upping the jeopardy, and then by the fifth one, they've got no one left.
We just have to kill everybody. But and I've heard things like I heard somebody say that Schwarzenegger's a way to do something, maybe to do with Commando again.
Oh, right.
Which was a big hit for him. So we'll wait and see.
Did you like the one they done together?
The Escape Plan.
Yeah.
I thought the first one was okay. The second one, obviously Schwarzenegger wasn't in it, but the first one was okay.
Watching it, I felt like this is a movie I would have rented in 1998.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I had that weird feel, but it was good.
Yeah, no, definitely. You're 100% right with that. Yeah, it was definitely a film that you would have expected from the 90s.
But Rick was telling me, actually, with the third one, they'd done it like they'd done with the Fast and the Furious.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally, the third Fast and the Furious was just a straight-to-video meant for Japan or something, I heard the story, and then it made so much money.
Oh, the Tokyo Drift one.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So you just use it for, like, the Japanese market.
That's
and
right.
It ends up making heaps of money, so they put other ones.
They punted it out to America, yeah.
But I think Stallone just done the third one just for money, didn't he?
Yeah. He's making money for doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I'd like to see actors doing just things out the blue.
Have you heard of the Edgar Allan Poe thing? Since like the 70s, Stallone's been working on a script about Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
And he always wanted to play him, but now he's too old.
Right, yeah.
He's had the script for about 40 years, and he's
trying
to get it made.
Yeah.
And it was always like, I'd have to get another actor to do it, but people didn't want it because it wasn't action. So, but he's had it for he wrote it the same time he wrote Rocky, like the first Rocky.
Oh, okay, right.
It's a YouTube video, there's a YouTube channel called I think it's Great Films That Were Never Made or something.
Okay.
It shows you like films that could have been, and that was
one of them.
There's quite a few interesting ones. Like,
did they ever go over Schwarzenegger's one? They had movie posters. I remember seeing the movie posters. It was called Crusader.
No.
It looked like something on the sort of the Conan the Barbarian style. It was called Crusader, and there was movie posters that went up in the bus stops and things like that, and it just never came out, and nobody saw it for the.
It was made.
I don't know. I think it was made because they obviously had the movie posters, so I'm presuming it was made, but it was just never edited or done. Like it just fell apart. So, and nobody's ever seen it. Nobody.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that'd probably be one that might be on a list somewhere.
There's so many like films that you hear about, and then like they just get shown. Like Al Pacino makes movies, but then he just shows them to his mates. Do you know what I mean? It's like the kind of films you want to see. Yeah,
there's it's funny how things get done. Like Forrest Gump was sitting in a studio for like almost 20 years waiting to get made.
Yeah.
You know, there's all these different films like that all the time, just waiting.
Or you hear about like Cop Out was supposed to be like it was called something Dicks originally, and it was supposed to be like this amazing script that everyone wanted. But then Kevin Smith done it, it just didn't work. No,
didn't work. But with Bruce Willis.
But there's heaps of stories of like scripts being great. Like what was the recent one I heard about? It was the Keanu Reeves one. Was it Replicas?
Okay, yeah, Replicas, yeah.
It's really bad, but apparently the script was amazing, but they just totally fucked it up.
Yeah, that happens. Sometimes it's good on paper.
Yeah.
But then trying to
it was with the Will Smith one.
Oh, was this
when he's a double?
The Gemini.
Yes, that was supposed to be an amazing script, but they never had the technology for it.
Right,
okay. The Irishman and everything. Like, do this, and then it just didn't work because they took a lot of the script out. They took a lot of the fact that older Will Smith is supposed to be more incompetent.
Right. Okay.
He isn't. He's Will Smith.
Yeah.
You can't have him forget stuff and stuff because he's like Will Smith action star. So it would just end up being the same. They were against each other in the same way, kind of thing.
Yeah. He had to be. It's almost like when in Terminator 2, when Schwarzenegger shows up, he's able to do so much, but then you could see, wait a minute, he's not. If it really comes down to a 1-on-1, he's going to get beat here, or at least messed up.
Well, sometimes actors ruin things with their demands, or like they want to be a certain way.
Yeah.
Like apparently Tom Cruise with The Mummy, he was making heaps of changes, and he wanted it to be like
exactly.
Oh no, in a Tom Cruise movie, this happens and this happens.
Yeah, I got to jump out a plane. I got to whatever. Yeah, that was a mess as well. That film. That was not good.
It was, but that speaking of films that were never made, it was supposed to be a whole dark universe thing, mind.
Oh, okay.
And they had like a whole picture in Vogue, and it was supposed to be like they were gonna do all the old kind of movies like Frankenstein. And
yeah,
stuff
that's
like
right.
That,
yeah,
but it flopped so hard that they didn't do anything.
I think that's their second time having a go, because when they done the original Mummy ones with Brendan Fraser, they were all big hits and they did really well. And then they brought out Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman, and that was awful. Or at least I did not like it. Again, I think it was a great idea and just executed really poorly.
Yeah.
And I think they thought, oh, wait a minute, what's happened here? Whereas I think that could have been another franchise. So that Universal's got all that property, but then they've tried to do Tom Cruise and The Mummy, and it didn't work. So yeah, they need to get a hold of that, and because that's a lot of good
You probably
material
know this,
there.
but do you know who Kate Beckinsale's dad was?
No.
Oh, he's the guy that was in Porridge. Not Ronnie Barker, the other one.
Oh, the young guy.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That was her dad, and he was in Rising Damp as well.
That's right. Yeah, he was in Rising Damp, and I think didn't he? I think he committed.
He
committed
suicide.
Like drug overdose or something like that. Yeah.
But she talks about him sometimes in interviews, and like he's a big influence. And said that when she done Click with Adam Sandler, that he watched Porridge, and he was like, "Oh, this is really funny."
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
But I always thought Kate Beckinsale should have had a sort of better career.
Well, yeah, sometimes you don't maybe choose the right films, or I thought Underworld.
Never
sorry.
seen them.
I saw the first one. I thought the first one was good. The second one was okay. Third one I wasn't so keen. I thought they got worse as
they got really bad reviews. I remember that they would always get bad reviews.
They did.
They had quite a following.
They did. Yeah, I think the first one was good enough to capture like people that I like this kind of universe that or alter world that they've built. It's but it just didn't quite work on the other two.
Yeah.
Something didn't go quite right there.
Van Helsing is the same with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's similar. Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Connery. That was his last film.
Remember that interview?
I've
been on the other side of the world working my arse off. I
yeah.
can't do a Sean Connery impression, but that's him after a stroke. But he was like, and I think that's when it's what happened to Kevin Smith as well, when they make a bad movie and then they just go, oh, fuck the critics, I'm not doing this anymore. And it's a shame, really.
Yeah, well, Sean Connery, I remember they said that he practically took over the film. Like, he just felt the director was...
Yeah, didn't know what he was doing.
Didn't know what he was doing. This was not for him. It shouldn't have been his sort of thing.
Was he a first-time director?
I can't remember who directed it. It wasn't a good film. It just wasn't good. I mean, it had a lot of cool things about it. It's again cool ideas, cool things, but it just didn't work. So
if it was, imagine that though, your first movie, and someone you've idolized as a kid.
Yeah,
you're gonna be like, oh, okay, sir, we'll do that shot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was kind of like World War Z. Did you see World War Z with Brad Pitt?
Oh, no, I've not actually seen it, but I remember when they were filming it in Glasgow.
Yeah, and I read the book, and the book's brilliant, and I thought this would be a tough book to do, because it's all over the world, like different things. And everything I heard about it, it just had problem after problem.
I Am Legend as well, when they changed the ending.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I watched it. I've not seen the film. I watched like a YouTube thing where they were saying that the ending in the comic book is so like beautiful and complex because he realizes he's the bad guy and he's part of the problem. And in the film, he just dies so that, you know what I mean? It's like a savior kind of thing.
Yeah, again, I wasn't a fan of the I Am Legend either. I didn't like the fact that the sort of the baddies in it were more kind of animated.
Version,
I don't know the comic book version.
It was that he discovers that the mutants are actually good, and that he's the bad guy.
Okay.
and then that obviously brings like what should he do kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
It's very complex. Whereas in the movie they just went.
Yeah, they went the other way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the original that was made with Charlton Heston. It's called the Omega Man.
No, I didn't know that was it.
Yeah, it was called the Omega Man, and it was Charlton Heston, and it was a very I think in the 70s again, and it was the people that were all the kind of mutants. They were white faced, and they wouldn't use weapons. It was very sort of peace hippie type thing. They wouldn't use weapons against them because they felt if they used weapons, then they would end up using weapons on each other. So they were trying to get rid of him because he represented the old world, and it was basically because it was after a nuclear bomb, but a virus being used, chemical warfare, all that type of thing, because he was military.
Oh, okay.
So that had a bit more of that type of vibe.
All right, okay.
In it, but I remember watching that as a kid and thinking, oh wow, it's great. But when I watch it now, I'm like, oh, it's not that great.
I remember seeing one as a kid, which was Jack Lemmon in a nuclear sort of situation.
Oh, with Michael Douglas.
Yes.
The China Syndrome.
Yes, that was it. It's a great movie.
It's a great film.
What else is it? I remember actually Steve Guttenberg when I was a kid. Came on at like midnight, and I shouldn't have been up, but it was like a film noir with him. And it was like about a crime actually at night, and then he tries to solve it. I can't remember what it's called.
I think I know the one you're talking about. Is that where he has an affair with his boss's wife?
Yes.
And she witnesses the murder.
Yes.
And then
John Lithgow in it.
I can't remember if John Lithgow's in it, but she witnesses it, but she obviously can't say that she went. So he says it. She just tells him, "Oh, that's him there," and so he then says. But it turns out that he couldn't. There's no way he could have seen that far because he wears glasses.
That was it.
I know that film. Yeah, I know.
And I remember years ago seeing a film, and for years I didn't know what it was, but it was After Hours.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies that's great if you don't know what it's about because you just get sucked into it.
Yeah, I remember that film. Yeah.
Is that a very well-reviewed movie?
I don't know. I think it's probably one of those cult films, probably.
I really want to watch it. I haven't seen it in years. I hope it holds up.
I remember seeing bits of it when I was young on the TV and that, but never ever sitting down and watching it. So
because it's a werewolf guy, isn't it? American Werewolf actor.
I believe so. Yeah, it's the American guy. Yeah.
Is he? Well, he's British, isn't he?
He's British, but yeah. But
I watched that when I was a kid. That movie,
American Werewolf in London,
terrified me.
Yeah, that would be pretty scary.
When he oh my god.
Yeah, when he changes, that's pretty messed up.
And then I remember hearing that it was supposed to be a comedy. I was like, no, it isn't. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up. I remember seeing the end.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was watching it from, the crack in the door. My parents were watching it and watching it on the stairs and just thinking, oh my goodness, what is this? But couldn't stop watching it.
That happened with The Shining as well. And those twins scared the hell out of me.
Oh yeah, I'm not a big horror fan.
Did you watch Dr. Sleep?
No.
It's the sort of sequel to The Shining.
Oh, with Ewan McGregor. Yeah, I never saw it. No.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
Although I think it flopped a bit. And so was his latest one with Harley Quinn. Apparently that's totally flopped.
Oh, with the what do they call
it? Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad bunch. Yeah, I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah. Did they call it? What did they call that film now though?
They renamed it because they didn't want people to associate with the Joker.
That's right. Yeah.
They renamed it Harley Quinn's.
Is it Birds of Prey or something? Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll probably give it a watch.
Yeah, I probably would as well because she's so funny in that role.
She's really good. I like Margot Robbie. She's really, really good.
Started off in Neighbours.
That's right. An old classic.
Remember she got nominated or something for some award and they saw the cast of Neighbours go, well done.
Yeah.
That was Carl Kennedy.
Exactly. Well, and what's his face came out of Neighbours as well. He done Memento.
Guy Pearce.
Yeah. He's great.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's a really good actor. I really like him as well.
Who else came out of Neighbours?
Guy Pearce, Margot Robbie. I mean, I suppose Kylie Minogue is big in
Bond,
her own right, but I can't think of any that have came out and done big acting stuff. But
he's a character actor. He's been in like the OC, and he's been 24.
Oh, he plays the dad. Jim Robinson. He was Jim Robinson in Neighbours.
He's in so many things, and he's good at playing like the corporate asshole guy.
Yeah, he's done a few things like that now. I remember him now. Yeah.
I remember seeing him in 24. Did you watch that?
Yeah, 24 was cool. Yeah, 24 was pretty cool.
Do you have a favourite season?
I think the first one. I liked the first one. It's because it was so new and like, oh, what is this? You know? And it was probably one of the last times I remember going round, like, we'd all get together as friends to watch it. You know, we'd all show up at my friend's house and we're all going to watch 24. And
my favourite is season 7 because it's like, Tony Almeida's back. And he's like, Tony Almeida's dead. And he's like, all got beer and he's all like villainy. And I remember I spent my last 20 quid watching, like, on that DVD when you can stream things.
Yeah.
I have to watch this season. It's so good. But then they lost it a bit towards the end, as they sometimes do.
Yeah, sometimes these things go on too long. They just go on too long. So.
But the last season they done was in London, wasn't it? They done like a 12-episode thing.
I never ever watched all of them.
All right.
I didn't get through them all. So some things get me, like even like Lost.
Yeah.
Lost, I really was into Lost, and I know that after so many seasons, I was like, I should have stopped. But I was so into it by that time, I just had to keep going to get to. I needed an answer, and when I was like, this is awful. Like it just didn't finish.
I started watching the zombie one, and I was just like, it started off, the first season was great.
Oh, The Walking Dead. Yeah.
But then by the third, I was like, oh, this is a bit boring.
Yeah, it's that's what happened. I think Frank Darabont was involved with the first season.
Yeah.
And then he left.
Oh, I thought he'd done them all.
No, I think he was involved, but he had some trouble with who makes it now? It's not AMC. Is it AMC?
Yeah.
AMC, I think it makes it. And I think they slashed the budget. And he was like, it's not going to be as good. Like, we need the budget. And they obviously they need to make money, and if there's no money to be had, there's no money to be had. But he had some issues there, and he kind of took a step back from it. So
speaking of Frank Darabont, do you like The Majestic? Seen that?
The Majestic.
It's the sort of film he done after The Green Mile. It's Jim Carrey.
Okay.
It's about him getting out as a communist. He's a Hollywood screenwriter.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that one.
And he loses his memory. It's all right. It's not great. A better sort of film that I watched recently about that kind of era was Bryan Cranston.
Trumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I wanted to start writing in the bath. That's how much I liked it. I was like, oh, it's great.
Yeah, I like that. Was a cool film.
Maybe want to get a typewriter and just get cigars and go, I'm making a script.
So do you think you're going to... You said you're reworking this play for the Fringe this year.
And I'm studying. I've applied to study like script writing in college.
Oh, cool.
So
Very
I've got
good.
an interview coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm quite
excited
for that.
And where are you going to be doing that?
Edinburgh College.
Okay.
So
good.
It's like script writing, and it'll be all that kind of stuff that I'm into.
Okay. And do you think that this is going to take you on a slightly different path from stand-up comedy now?
I would like to do more acting sort of stuff.
Right.
Enjoy acting and being in like sort of dramatic films and sort of little comedy bits here and there. I would like to do more of that. And obviously with college, I'd like to get into script writing more and sort of like what else. I've always got heaps of film ideas anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Like sort of making little short films and stuff. I'd like to go in that kind of area.
Nice. Really cool. Well, Martin, thanks for coming.
How long have we been talking for?
We've been talking for ages, I think.
But
I have no idea.
It's definitely over an hour.
Definitely over an hour.
I'm going to guess an hour and 14.
Well, we'll be able to find out soon enough. But thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, man. It's good fun.
You know, we look forward to seeing that reworked play at the Fringe.
Cool. Come along
this August.
Cheers, man.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Shoot it, fat boy!